Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maureen and I'm Maren, and we're just two Kenyans reacting to your internet videos. So in today's episode, we are going to be reacting to a video we came across on the internet, and this video basically suggested that the white population of South Africa are facing racism from the black community of South Africa. And you might ask yourself why this is, but in the video that you're going to be playing you shortly, we'll let you be the judge of that. But from what I can see from this video, white South Africans feel like the government has left them behind when it comes to job opportunities, and they've given black South Africans an unfair advantage when it comes to job opportunities. And we also have to keep in mind the role apartheid has played in the South African society. So if there's a South African here watching, whether black or white, please let us know what you think about this video on the comment section, and please just interact with us and let us know if you agree or disagree with this video, or whatever this video will have touched that you need to shed light to. Yeah, and also if you're a white South African person, you can also leave us a comment on the comment section if you agree with this video, and if you think that the government is somehow unfair towards the white population of South Africa. You can also tell us the same. Or if you think that the blacks are getting what they deserve right now, also leave a comment so that we can know what you think about this video. So yeah, let's get into the video. We'll be giving our remarks after the video, so let's just watch the video.
A few years ago, Julius Malema was tipped as a future president, but he's not someone many people in Coronation Park would vote for.
You know, it's difficult for white folks these days. It really is. We don't have the ball in our court anymore. We are not the chosen ones.
What's the future look like for your little girl then?
In South Africa, I wouldn't say too good.
In SA, if you are black, you're better off right now.
Well, why is that? Because it wasn't the case 20 years ago.
Just because of everything, man. Like, the odds are stacked to your favor now. Affirmative action. If I applied for a job, right, and a guy my age, same education as me, applied for the same position, but he was white, I'd get the job, hands down.
I mean, if I was a white guy, that would piss me off.
If our fathers and our fathers' fathers treated black people like normal people and didn't let them work like slaves and treat them like dogs, maybe it would be different today. That's the way it's life. Because it's time now for us to pay for what our fathers did. And there's nothing you can do about that.
What happened years ago with the black people and the white people was nothing to do with me. I wasn't there. I didn't fight the battles with the white people and the black people.
So you're saying your generation have done nothing to deserve this? Is that how you feel?
Yeah, that's how I feel. Most white people learned black people the things they know today.
There's 3 or 4 other buildings here. Do the blacks sort of keep to themselves?
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Some of them are very racist. And inside here, they're also very racist.
Why do you think that so many black people in townships are supporting of Malema?
Because they want to kill us. The shock, eh?
I definitely don't agree.
He says kill the Boer, kill the white one, kill the Boer, kill the white one. They're gonna kill us. They're gonna kill us. As soon as he comes in, we're gonna be killed.
Our fathers before our fathers treated black people very bad. They did. And I think Julius Malema wants to just turn it around.
But it's wrong.
So up until this point, what we are gathering from the video is that right now it's good if you're a black person. It's actually good for you to be in South Africa, unlike compared to you being a white person. And white people are right now white South African. Let's be specific. White South African people are now being treated as second-class citizens, and this is because the government is trying to level up what was done during apartheid by giving black people more opportunities to level up to white people. You could say South Africa has a reverse of everything. Like in the media, you're used to seeing black people suffering, black people staying in slums. You know, you're used to seeing black kids sleeping hungry, suffering, not being able to access food and clean water. But in South Africa, it's actually the reverse. You see white people suffering, white white people are actually living in slums, and this is because they are paying for their father's mistakes. You know what was done to South Africans during the colonization period. The white South Africans are now going through that. Yeah, and I find this to be quite interesting, because I think South Africa is the only nation where you will find this kind of scenario. Here in Kenya, you wouldn't find white people homeless or begging in the streets. Yeah, but there have been a few incidences, but just one out of so many, one out of in a long while you'll see a white man claiming to be poor, but that is by choice, because they came to Kenya looking for love and then they ended up scammed. Yeah, so the situation is not the same. Yeah, but in South Africa, this is the only place you see this kind of scenario. But it's also because South Africa has a big population of white settlers who remained in South Africa when the rest were going back to their countries. Yeah, so by no means are we saying this is right. It's not right what is happening in South Africa, but it's going to take a long time for the countries of South Africa to really find a balance. Yeah, because for racism to happen, feelings have to be involved. The white population is feeling a certain type of way, the black population is feeling a certain type of way, and you find that white South Africans can't really, those ones who have been born and raised in South Africa, they consider themselves as South Africans. Yeah. So even telling them to go back to where the ancestors came from, that would be unfair. It would be unfair, because we've had a couple of white South African people say abroad they're not really treated as white people because they're seen as South Africans, and the biggest dead giveaway is their accent, their South African accent, which is really quite strong, you know. So Caucasians don't really treat them as part of the white community, but in South Africa also they're not fully accepted as Africans, you understand? So that really puts the white South African natives in a bit of a precarious situation, you know. I really feel for these people, and the only way to heal, I guess, in this point, there's nothing simple about this situation. You see, through the AA system, which is affirmative action, South Africa's government decided that a lot of these positions, they needed to fill Africans in those positions so that they can be able to try and bring equality, because whites had so much of South African wealth. So the government tried to distribute across everybody and giving priority to the black South Africans. Now, considering the white population of South Africa, we understand what is happening, but the question you ask yourself is, where does this leave the white South African citizens, right? Because we've just had this guy say that if, let's say for example, a white person and a black person are applying for the same position in South Africa, a black person, regardless of the qualifications they both have, they might have similar qualifications, they might have similar degrees, they might, all those things, it wouldn't matter. A black person would highly be more likely to be employed than the white guy. And me as an African, to be quite honest, I feel like looking at it from an outsider's point of view, it's a fair deal, because first of all, the injustices that Africans were made to face in Africa back then, during the time of apartheid, this was a big way of compensating Africans for what they went through, you know. So the problem is just the new generation is suffering for these decisions that were taken when apartheid came to an end. Let us know what you think about the video on the comment section. Leave your remarks on the comment section. South Africans, help us understand these measures that are being put in place. You know, you can't really talk about someone's situation until you find yourself walking in their shoes. But as an African, we also understand colonization and how it impacted Africans, because Kenya was also one of the nations that was affected by colonizations. We have our own history with the Mau Maus. We have our own history about losing lands and, you know, losing relatives because of that. But we really can't understand the generation of the white settlers in South Africa right now, they're reaping the fruits of the apartheid, and you see now tables are turned. But it's not a fun. But also, again, you also try and understand South Africans. They really went through a lot, and you can't, you know, like, you remember the brother talking about, you know, the dance they were made to do during the apartheid by the prison guards. That was a really humiliating thing to do to Africans, especially in their own country, by foreigners, you know. And right now, as Yates says, the journalist, he says that yes, South Africans, black South Africans can forgive white South Africans for what happened, and especially for apartheid. But what they should not allow to happen is forgetting. As the white South African lady was saying, they should forgive and forget. Yates is saying that forgetting is like wiping away history, and therefore wiping away the lessons that were learned after apartheid. Yeah, so what do you think about this situation? Should they forgive and forget, or should they forgive and remember what happened during apartheid and learn from it? But we'd really like to hear from the white settlers. If you're a white person in South Africa, please let us know what is the situation there. How do you people feel? Because we feel like there's been measures put in place to try and, you know, to try and appease the black community of South Africa, like the AA system, of which white settlers in South Africa feel like these measures like the AA system have been put in place to oppress them. Unfortunately, that might come out as that, but the aim of the government is to try and create that balance. Create balance and also give back some little power to black South African people. And also, from the video that we've just watched, one of the South African guys was saying that they taught South African black people how to read and write, and they're now using those skills to lock them out of the job market. And someone once said, as these white not only white South African settlers, but white people in general, as they were coming to Africa, yes, they brought their own way of educating Africans, but what makes you think that in Africa there was no civilization, or in Africa there was no education prior to you guys coming to Africa, you know? So I guess there's that entitlement also. We can see white people feel like there's so much they did for African people that they deserve a big piece of the pie that is to be shared in South Africa. In this case, who would you say is truly to blame for this situation happening in South Africa? Would you blame their forefathers, or the government of the black South Africans and South Africans in general? But I think in this situation, it's really hard to tell or to lean on one side or the other,